2020 has been the ideal year for reflecting on ideas normally lurking deep in the subtext of conversations, cans of worms often too overwhelming to reckon with. One of these ideas that came to the surface of American graphic design education this year was the unacknowledged multiplicity of narratives present in graphic design history.
Throughout history, female characters have always been controversial in society. No matter in which field, women have a lot of power. Artist Susan Lacy declared, "The goal of feminist art was to influence culture, attitude, and transform stereotypes. Feminist art creates opportunity and space that previously did not exist for women and minority artists, as well as paved the path for the identity art and activist art of the 1980s.
So through research and content consumption, we have decided to narrow our focus in the multiplicity of histories to women designers and how they have been driving the design field and achieving quiet victories that need to be sounded from the rooftops. During this short presentation, we shed light on 6 designers who we feel exhibit power as women designers. Maybe they are not the most famous designers one often would hear about, but their works are brilliant. We should pay more attention to these less-known designers because they are worth being discovered. Anaïs Bourdet, a graphic designer and art director with a strong and varied portfolio that includes editorial design, branding, packaging, and illustration. While Bourdet's style is uniquely tailored to each client and project, a use of hard lines and solid color unites her body of work.
Shanti's Spirit is produced engaging poster, brochure, and more, for profit and non-profit organizations. Her layouts are characteristically informed by grid diagonal geometry, which make for clear and stunning visual communication. Yana Kim is a graphic designer based in Soho and Berlin. Her style is intense, colorful, and often systematic and architectural. Known for her installation and visual identity, her work is simultaneously playful and harrowing. Joy Lee is a graphic designer based in Sydney. Her work explores the intersection where design meets gender, race, and culture studies. She often uses type and image to express the things she feels but cannot explain.
Margot Lombard is the leader of her own London studio, which works with many different clients. Her team is not only responsible for establishing some stunning visual identities, but is also responsible for creating exhibitions and physically interactive ways to experience their practical design. Kaylin Barnosky is a graphic designer and musician. Barnosky's studio practice is overarchingly defined by her ingrained Cherokee epistemologies. They deal with the dynamics between people and people groups, recorded histories versus first-person narratives, institutional power structures that influence how humans work with each other, and the space she holds doing this work within and outside of institutional spaces.
Famous artists sought to create a dialogue between the viewer and the artwork through the inclusion of women's perspectives. Art was not merely an object for aesthetic admiration, but should also invite the viewer to question the society and political landscape, and through this questioning, possibly affect the world and bring change toward equality.
We need to expand our horizons and recognize more undiscovered designers. Different regions, races, cultures will have different understandings of design. Art is diverse and extensive in style.